Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and as you can see, I am doing something a little bit different here. I am working on a layout that will be a 3x8 insert. However, this is going into my flipbook for Shrewsbury, and flipbooks do not come with page protectors ready-made as a 3x8, so in order to get what I want, I have to DIY it. So I've already taken a full 6x8 page protector and cut it down to where I wanted it. I simply measured it slightly larger than 3 inches from here to the end because obviously I need a little give so that I can make a seam here along the edge and have my photos still fit. So once that's all made, these will go in there back to back. Now the other trick with this one is I want to use sequins. So in the end, I want this page protector to look like this one. So not only do I have to do the edges, but then I'm going to drop in the photos. I have to seal it shut, so I have to make sure I'm done with these and have what I want on there, because once I put it in there and make the line, they're not coming out unless I cut it open. So I have to seal it along the edge, put my photos in it, and then seal it here and leave room for sequins up top. So it's extra work for sure, but I'm definitely willing to do it. So I have all of what I need here. My fuse tool's over here. It's already been heating, so it's ready to go. So really the first thing is to seal the edges. Now I'm left-handed, so I'm going to actually turn this upside down and put my tool over here because it's just easier for me to see what I'm doing and go along that edge since I need to use my left hand. So I have this, and I just run it along the edge to seal it. And then since my silver tool here is not long enough to go the whole way, then I'll have to move this. I see I missed a spot there. I'll have to move it down to do the rest of it. All right, so I finished the first part. I did my seal along the edge, so it's open at the top where I need it to be, but then sealed along the edge where I need it to be. So the next step is to put this aside, and then I don't need this anymore for the time being. Then I have to work on these photos to figure out what kind of embellishments I want, or stamping, or whatever it is I'm going to do, because these have to be completely finished before I drop them into the page protector. Before I start embellishing the photos, I do want to show that this is the base that I plan to use for my sequin mix. It came this way. I don't remember the name of this one. And I either got it, I was going to say Spiegel Mom Scraps or Cat Scrappiness. One of those two, I'm pretty sure, is where I got this mix. So I didn't put that together. It was already that way. But I like the mix of colors there because I do have this sort of coppery green, almost teal color here, but then I also just have gray. I have a little white from the swans, and then I have multiple shades of green happening, even a yellowy green over here, which I think works well with the circles that are in here. I do plan to throw in some green as well of some kind. I just don't know what that is right now, but I want to keep this in mind as I embellish because everything has to match. It has to come together and match both sides. I pulled out these stickers because when I was looking at this larger photo here, I figured out, okay, I've definitely got gray happening. I've got this green happening as well. So these are both from Ellie Edwards, and I don't know if they were meant to go together or match, but I'm going to use them that way. So on this one, I think I'm going to just do the one that says outside because it's a very scenic outdoor thing happening as I cross this bridge. And then over here, these are kind of hard to see on the camera because they're gray and white, but I think I want to use one of the ones, it's longer, but I already looked and it will fit on here. I want to do the one that says the journey is the destination. So it's right here, and you can kind of see it will fit nicely. There is a little buffer of room on each side, which is perfect, so I won't have to trim it down. So I think I'm going to go with that. And there we go. I have those layered on there. I actually decided to put in a little staple right there, and then I overlapped the gray sticker on the green just a little bit, and I like the way that looks. And that may be all I do. I could stamp on here, but I don't know that I need to, because if I have this and then the sparkly sequins on top, that's kind of a lot for just one thing. And really, it's just scenic. I'm not journaling anything about this, so I think that's all it needs. For this photo, These stickers really don't work. They're too green. That's quite a bit off from that. But I think I can get away with using something on this sheet. I don't know exactly which one I want to use, but I have lots of options here, and I may use 2 or 3 short phrases that I can triple up over here maybe and help fill some of that space, or even down here. Ooh, you know what? Actually, because this is at the top and the sequins will be at the top, maybe I should do it at the bottom. This is just dead space anyway, and it would be pretty tight to squeeze it in here. So you know what? I will place them at the bottom. I decided to use 2 stickers. So they just say travel moments and get lost, which I like. And then I've decided I need something else that's a little more kind of rustic, outdoorsy maybe. And so I'm thinking of choosing just some tiny wood veneer hearts to kind of bring in that outdoorsy rough look to it, and put one up here somewhere, one right here, and then that's probably all I need as long as I still do the sequins. I picked out the hearts and I placed them on there with my liquid glue. So there's that one for the left side, and here's this one for the right side. And those need just a few minutes to dry. So while that is happening, I'm going to clean up the hearts that I have left over here, and then I will get ready to do the sequins. All right, I have these placed in there now that everything is dry, and I noticed that these don't perfectly match up, but for me that's not enough to bother me, so I'm not going to try to wrangle them out of there and put them back in and get them perfect. So I also like to leave a little bit of a buffer at the bottom should I ever have to take this apart for any reason. That gives me some room where I don't have to cut into the photo. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to seal just above this line so that it makes, you know, a little pocket here. I want to make sure I get it pretty straight there. And you can do it through this line. However, it's not going to sit flat now because I have this. I could go this way if I wanted to and just eyeball it, which you can do. But since I'm left-handed, I'd have to use my right hand then to roll the tool. And trust me, that won't go well. So I'm going to do it this way and just eyeball it, maybe like to there. I don't measure things too often, like perfectly. I tend to just, why is this not rolling? There we go. I tend to just eyeball and figure, you know what, if it's straight enough, that's good. And there we go. So now I have the pocket made and I can add in my sequins. So originally I thought I was going to use these plus add in these little green vines. And while I think those would match well with this side, I don't think they will over here. So I've actually decided not to use those. I'm just going to use this mix as it is. And I will put as much of that in here as I can. Normally I would take an empty one of these, mix these together and do it that way. But since now I don't need that, I can just set it aside. I've changed my mind again. I had those all in there, and when I saw it, I didn't feel like it had enough of the gray or silver aspect in the stone here and then in the water. So I'm actually pulling out these, and I'm going to add in some of those to the mix. And just shake that up and see how it looks. All right, so that's how it looks with those mixed in, and I do like that. It adds just a little bit extra for this, so now I can put it all back in the pocket and seal it. All right, there we have it all in the pocket, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just going to eyeball the tool here close to the top. I want a little bit of a buffer. Again, should I ever have to open it, having a little bit of room up there is always a good idea. I want to make sure it's relatively straight. There we go. And then I will roll this across. I don't know that it likes this thin cardboard I'm using. It has gotten kind of stuck a couple of times where I've had to go over it more than once, which normally isn't the case. So if you're going to use cardboard, I recommend using a thicker piece. This is quite thin, and I do have a thicker one, but just chose this because it was the first thing I saw. But just a tip for later, And then here we go. We can see that's all sealed. There are the sequins in there. I love it. So that's the front side. That's the back side. And here's another one done for Shrewsbury. Thanks for watching.